Hello and welcome to another video by Virtual Flight Diaries. So I did a 4-part series on flying the Duke, the Grand Duke to be specific. And I didn't add flying up into the flight levels. Since this plane has a service ceiling of 30,000 feet, I want to show you guys how to take this plane past critical altitude and into those higher upper levels, so you can get the range, that the max range that this plane has to offer. So we're here at 25,000 feet for flight level 250, and the reason I'm starting here is that this is critical altitude. This is the maximum altitude that the turbocharger will produce enough pressure to keep the engines running. Once we go past this altitude, we're going to have to start doing some stuff to help out the turbocharger. Mainly leaning out the engines, increasing that air to fuel mixture to keep the engines running. So when you reach critical altitude, you want to turn on the fuel pumps. You want to keep that fuel pressure up. It'll keep the engines from dying on you. And then you're going to start to want to lean it out. So you're going to see here in a second, when I lean it out, fuel pressure goes up, or the fuel flow goes up, and the engines get more power. So that's where you want to keep it. And you're going to start seeing as we climb up that the fuel flows are going to start to drop, and as they drop, we're going to lean out. So let's set to 30,000. And we're going to start our climb. You want to climb out, you want to keep the speed at not below 120. You can pitch for any speed in this range as long as it doesn't go below 120. You want to go slow so that you have time to manage these systems, because you're going to start seeing, we're going to be watching this gauge, we're going to start seeing it die off, and then when it starts to do that, we're going to lean out and bring the power back in. And we can bump up the manifold pressure to the stops. No, almost to the stop. As we climb out above critical altitude, you're going to start seeing that manifold pressure drop. And as it drops, we're going to bump that up until it can't go any higher. And then we're just going to keep leaning. You've seen the fuel flow start to drop. When it does that, you're just going to want to bring the mixture back. Just keep that fuel flow up around 200 pounds per hour. And we're good. Doing a little cruise climb here, 1,000 feet per minute. That gives us enough time to manage the engines. Gonna lean it out a little more. Manifold pressure drops, so we're going to bring it up to full throttle. Past this altitude, everything is left at full throttle. Though you can bring it back just a little bit, because I think the power settings are 29, and it just won't quite reach there at full throttle. lean it out a little more. Gone beyond our pressurization. Try to see if I can get a little more. Turning that up. But since we have the cabin altitude light on, we're going to turn the oxygen on. Once we get up to 30,000 feet here, I'm going to show you what happens if we enrich the mixture and what I meant by why we needed to lean it out as we climbed up. Alright, so I'm going to enrich the mixture, and you're going to watch that we're going to start losing the engine. See, we start losing the engine there. So you have to keep them leaned. You got to keep that as much air as you possibly can into that engine. Alright, so we're at our cruise altitude of 30,000 feet. At the highest this plane can go. So we're going to consult the charts to see what our cruise settings are going to be. I'm going to look to see, so our range should be about 1,050 nautical miles at 75%. So we're going to get the best speed and the best distance with this power setting. So we're going to bring the manifold pressure to 29.3. We're going to leave the RPMs at 2750. And then we're going to lean it out so that our fuel flow is 104 pounds per gallon. Per hour. We're not going to use the computer. We're going to lean for fuel flow. Let me show you how to do this stuff. So we're going to leave the propeller where it's at. We're going to bring the manifold pressure slowly back. We get that 29 mark. And then we're going to lean out the engines a little more. Just watching that fuel flow. So our fuel flow target was 104. That's what we're going to lean it out until we get there. Bring that other one back in. And put the propeller sync on. And there we are. We're at our cruise at 30,000 feet, traveling 314 nautical miles across the ground. See what our endurance is. All our temperatures look good. So 2 hours and 50 minutes at this speed. We're looking at 700 nautical miles. Seven, 800 nautical miles. Now it said 1,050, but that's all dependent on wind and such. So that's how you have to do it, guys. You have to lean out the engines when we get above critical. And that stage cooling that I went over in part 3 of my series is going to become all more important coming down from this altitude. To descend from the flight levels, you want to do a shallow descent. You don't want to go fast. And you want to stage cool your turbocharger. So another thing real quick is the heater. So these right here control a wastegate that redirects the airflow over the hot turbocharger. So you pull these out and you can manage the heat better at these flight levels. 58 degrees. You can see it's starting to come up. You can go all the way out, you can go halfway in. You just play with these until you get the temperature that you want. And that's that. That's how you set this plane up for thin air flying. Like and subscribe to my channel. Get more these tutorials and other videos. Catch my live streams. And if you wish, you can support the channel also through Buy Me a Coffee link on my channel page. Greatly appreciate it. Helps the channel out. Helps me get these airplanes so that I can do these tutorials for you, and which I'm happy to do. It's a lot of fun. So until the next one, clear skies and smooth landings. See ya.